Can you imagine renting a wig just to impress strangers online? Welcome to African Tales by Favorites, your home of unique stories. Tracy loved attention more than anything else in the world. In her small apartment, she would sit for hours scrolling through Instagram, admiring the lives of celebrities and influencers. Then she would smile at herself in the mirror and say, "That would be me. I was born for luxury." To Tracy, life wasn't about living comfortably. It was about looking expensive, even if it meant eating bread and water behind closed doors. She always told her friends, "I can never settle for less. Never." Her followers saw her posing beside cars, holding designer bags, and sipping drinks in VIP lounges. But nobody knew the truth. Everything was borrowed, rented, or fake. What Tracy didn't realize was that the lies she carefully built like a castle were about to come crashing down. The girl who said she would never settle for less was about to settle for something she never imagined: jail food. Every week, Tracy would find new ways to upgrade her fake life. She would rent wigs that cost more than 3 months of her salary. She would hire cars, take selfies beside them, and post captions like, "Another baby added to my garage." Her followers would scream in the comments, "Goals! Teach us your ways, queen." Her friends rolled their eyes. They knew the truth, but Tracy didn't care. Instagram doesn't need the truth, she would laugh. It only needs content. The funniest part was how she treated her rented things as if they were truly hers. She would scold her friends for not being classy enough, while hiding the receipt of the wig she had to return by Monday. But beneath all the smiles and fake designer clothes, Tracy's account balance told a different story. While her Instagram said rich, her bank account whispered broke. And very soon, the whisper would become a scream. Tracy believed that clubs were where millionaires were born and caught. She would save her last money just to buy a table in the VIP section. Once inside, she danced like the room was hers, holding rented bottles of champagne and laughing loudly for attention. "Big girl," the men would shout, watching her sparkle under the lights. "She must be rich." And that was exactly what Tracy wanted them to think. She would tell anyone who asked, "I don't do average men. I only roll with the big boys." But what people didn't know was that after the club, Tracy would sneak into a cheap taxi home, carefully hiding her borrowed wig in a plastic bag. She would return to her small rented apartment, switch off her lights, and sleep with an empty stomach. For Tracy, every night was a show. But one night, the show would end and the truth would take center stage. Tracy woke up early, stood in front of her mirror, and practiced smiles like a professional actress. She booked a private photo shoot that was actually a quick stop at a luxury hotel lobby where she pretended to be a guest. She walked in with confidence, greeting the doorman as if she owned the penthouse. Her friend, Lisa, followed with a phone, whispering, "We have exactly 10 minutes before security asks questions." Tracy posed on the marble staircase, arranged her rented wig like a crown, and placed her hand on the railing as if she was waiting for a butler. "Caption this, home for the weekend," she said. Lisa stared. "Home? You mean lobby for 10 minutes? Details are for people without imagination," Tracy replied. She recorded slow motion videos near the fountain and used the hotel logo as her background. Online, comments exploded with praise. Offline, Tracy and Lisa ran out laughing as the hotel manager walked over. The photos were perfect. The truth was not. Another day, another lie wrapped in luxury. That afternoon, Tracy visited a boutique that rented designer bags. She pointed to a shiny crocodile skin purse that could pay someone's school fees. "I'll take this for the weekend," she said. The attendants smiled, the kind of smile that says, "We know your type." She took pictures in the dressing room, then carried the bag carefully like a newborn baby. She strutted down the street, clicking her heels. A group of girls whispered, "That's the influencer." A young lady approached her and asked for advice. "How did you start your luxury life?" Tracy cleared her throat. Discipline, vision, and prayer, she replied, as if she had invented diamonds. Meanwhile, the bag had a tiny barcode tag tucked under the flap. If anyone looked closely, they would see it. At dinner, Tracy carefully placed the bag on the table like a trophy. She took a few photos more, then put everything on her story. People cheered. Truth hid again. But the more she fed the lie, the more the lie demanded. Attention is a hungry pet. It never stops eating. Tracy's messages were full of invitations to parties and lounges. One man wrote, "Come through tonight. Only the elite will be there." She dressed like a magazine cover sparkling dress, rented fragrance, eyelashes that could fan a fire. At the party, she played her favorite role, the girl who only drinks from glass bottles that cost a fortune. She laughed at jokes she didn't understand and nodded in agreement when people discussed investments she could not spell. When asked what she did for a living, she said, "Brand deals, mostly international. My manager handles the paperwork." One of the men, sharp-eyed and clever, studied her like a puzzle. "Which brands?" he asked. She blinked. "Oh, a variety I sign. Very confidential." He smiled, unimpressed. "Of course." Tracy kept shining under the lights, but the man's look followed her across the room like a mirror she didn't want to face. If one person looked hard enough, the packaging would start to peel. She just hoped the music stayed loud enough to drown the truth. Monday came with sunshine and consequences. Tracy walked into a luxury car rental office with the confidence of a news anchor. "I'm picking up the silver convertible," she announced. The receptionist checked her booking and handed her the key with a warning. "Return it by Sunday. Any damage is your responsibility." "No problem," Tracy smiled. "I drive like a cloud." She filmed the key in her palm, zoomed in on the car logo, and posted, "New baby delivered. We thank God." Comments flew in like confetti. "Girl, your goals. How do you do it?" She drove slowly at first, worried about scratches. But attention, like fuel, makes people press the accelerator. She parked outside a mall, leaned on the car, and took photos from 10 angles. She planned a sunrise beach drive and a sunset city video. Lisa asked gently, "What if something happens?" Tracy waved her hand. "Nothing will happen. Beauty protects me." She laughed. Life, however, does not accept beauty as insurance. It was a simple mistake, a sudden break, a loud horn, a moment of panic. The silver convertible kissed the back of a small delivery truck, and the world became a sharp sound and a cracked bumper. Tracy froze. The driver of the truck stepped out, angry but unharmed. "Are you okay?" he asked. Her heart beat like a drum. She nodded. "I'm fine." She stepped out and stared at the damage. It wasn't terrible, but it was not small either. She could already hear the rental company's voice. "You will pay for that." A small crowd gathered. Someone recognized her. "Wait, aren't you that influencer?" Another person began to record. Tracy straightened her wig and forced a smile. "Everything is fine," she said, as if she could edit real life like a video. She called the rental company to report it. They were polite, too polite. "Please return the car immediately for assessment," they said. She drove back slowly, fear growing heavier than the car itself. Attention had finally asked for payment. The rental office felt colder than usual. A mechanic bent over the car with a flashlight, while a manager typed numbers on a computer. Tracy sat on a chair, pressing her knees together like a schoolgirl waiting for results. The manager returned with a printed paper that looked like a hospital bill. "Here is the damage estimate. You need to pay for the bumper replacement, labor, and inspection." She swallowed. "Can I pay next month?" The manager smiled kindly. "We require payment immediately, or at least a deposit today." Tracy nodded with a face that said, "I will handle it." She stood, walked outside, and called Lisa. "Please tell me you have a miracle." "I have lunch money," Lisa replied softly. "No miracles." Tracy stared at the sky and wished it would turn into money. She returned inside wearing her best smile. Give me 2 days, she said. The manager agreed. 2 days only. Outside, Tracy posted a selfie with the caption, "Busy fixing things money can solve." Sadly, money could not solve anything if money was not there. The 2 days ran like they were late for an appointment. Tracy checked her bank app every hour, as if staring could make numbers grow. She sent proposals to brands, emailed event planners, and messaged a guy who once promised to sponsor her soft life. He replied with a sticker and silence. Her rent was due in 2 weeks. Her fridge looked like a minimalist art project. She sold 2 old dresses and a pair of shoes that hurt her toes anyway. It was still not enough. She opened her phone to post something glamorous to distract herself, but even the camera refused to lie for her. She looked tired. She looked scared. She closed the app. That night, she whispered, "Maybe I should confess." Then she pushed the thought away. No, one more chance. Something will come. Morning came with a bang on her door, and a voice from the hallway. "Tracy, car rental office, we need to talk." Her heartbeats answered, "I am not ready." But time does not wait for courage. 2 men stood at her door wearing polite expressions and serious shirts. "Miss Tracy, we gave you 2 days," the taller one said. "It's now 3. She smiled nervously. "Yes, about that. There was a delay in a transfer from an international brand." "May we see proof?" Her smile cracked. "The email is under review." The men looked around her small living room, at the ring lights by the window, at the clothes draped on the chair, at the vision board on the wall that said, "Soft life only." "Please come with us to the office to settle this," the shorter man said. She grabbed her phone, her tiny purse, and her courage. At the office, the manager repeated the numbers. They had not changed overnight. "If you cannot pay today, we will need to involve the authorities," he said gently. Tracy blinked fast to keep tears from falling. "I just need more time." "Time," the manager replied, "is a luxury we cannot rent." The police station smelled like paper, pens, and the truth. Tracy sat on a bench, her posture perfect, as if a photographer might appear at any moment. A friendly officer asked, "Can you pay anything today?" She opened her banking app under the table, praying for a miracle. The screen glowed with a number that looks like a joke. 1,000. She wanted to faint and wake up in another story. "Can we confirm your balance?" the officer asked. Her mouth felt dry. "Must we?" "Since you claimed you could handle it," he replied gently. They checked. The room went quiet. Someone coughed. Even the wall clock took a pause. "Madam Influencer," another officer said softly, "this is your balance." Tracy nodded, trying to smile and failing. News travels faster than regret. A blogger posted, "Instagram star owes car rental. Bank balance revealed." The comments were brutal. "So she was pretending? We knew it." Tracy held her breath as if oxygen costs money. For the first time, she saw her online world from the outside. It did not look kind. The cell was not dramatic. It was simple and quiet, with a thin mattress and a heavy door. Tracy sat on the edge, hands clasped, thinking about every wig, every caption, every photo taken on other people's property. A woman in the cell across from her said, "You look familiar." "I have a small online page," Tracy replied. "Oh," the woman said, "the kind that makes people wish they were you." Tracy sighed. "Yes." They shared stories. The woman spoke about a mistake she made at work and the lesson it taught her. "Life is easier when your inside matches your outside," she said. At night, Tracy could not sleep. She imagined her followers scrolling, laughing, judging, or unfollowing. She remembered the messages from young girls asking how to be like her. She felt a sharp pain of guilt. In the morning, she asked for a pen and paper. She began to write, "My name is Tracy, and I have been lying to you." The truth felt heavy, but it also felt like air. When the news hit the internet fully, it came like a storm. Screenshots of her posts were compared with old videos, with circled barcodes on bags and reflections in car windows. People became detectives with free time and strong Wi-Fi. Some followers wrote kind comments. We all make mistakes. Heal. Others wrote essays longer than novels about honesty and pride. A few posted memes that would make even angels cover their faces to laugh. Tracy's phone kept buzzing in the station locker. She asked the officer for 10 minutes with it and read everything in silence. She wanted to disappear, but she also felt strangely relieved. The lie had finally ended its contract. She typed a short note and saved it. I am sorry for pretending. I will make things right. Then she put the phone away and looked at the wall, which did not care who she used to be online. The wall only knew the present, and in the present, she had a choice to keep pretending or start again. Lisa visited with a small bag of snacks and a big hug. I'm not here to judge, she said. I'm here to bring biscuits and reality. They sat on a bench, sharing crackers like two schoolgirls after a long exam. What now? Lisa asked gently. I want to apologize publicly, Tracy said, not with a cute caption, with a real video. No filters, no rented anything, just me. Lisa nodded. Good. Also, the rental company is willing to discuss a payment plan if you show genuine effort. Tracy exhaled. I will do it. I will work. I will pay. And I will tell the truth. They laughed through tears. You know, Lisa added, your first true brand deal might be with honesty. Tracy smiled for real, the kind of smile that doesn't need editing. The officer nearby pretended not to listen, but even he smiled a little. It turns out, humility is contagious. For the first time, Tracy felt lighter. The truth may be heavy at first, but it builds the strongest wings. Paperwork clicked into place like puzzle pieces. Tracy signed documents, agreed to a strict payment plan, and promised to appear when called. She stepped out of the station into bright afternoon light that felt like freedom and responsibility mixed together. There was no car waiting, no dramatic music, no bouquet of flowers, just Lisa, a bus stop, and a decision. Where to? Lisa asked. To my life, Tracy said softly. The real one. They rode public transport, and Tracy stared out the window at ordinary people doing honest things, selling snacks, going to work, holding hands, laughing without cameras. At home, she took down the vision board that said, Soft life only, and wrote a new one. Live honestly. Work hard. Help others. She cleaned her apartment, boxed up fake trophies, and returned the rented wig, like a soldier returning armor after the wrong battle. That evening, she set up her ring light, not for pretending, but for confession. Tracy sat in a plain t-shirt with no makeup and no soft filters. The camera saw her humanity and nothing else. She pressed record. My name is Tracy, she began. I have been living a lie. I rented cars, wigs, and bags to appear rich. I made some of you feel small because you didn't have what I pretended to have. I am sorry. She explained the accident, the bill, the arrests, and the bank balance that sounded like a comedy punchline. She did not cry for pity. She spoke for clarity. I cannot undo what I did, but I can start again. If you want to leave, I understand. If you stay, I promise to be honest. She posted it. Then she put her phone away and washed dishes. Sometimes, the best way to wait is to do something simple and good. When she checked later, the comments were different from before. Some people forgave, some people advised, a few still mocked. But many wrote, thank you for telling the truth. And that was enough to breathe. The next week, Tracy accepted a job assisting at a small local studio. It wasn't glamorous, carrying lights, ironing backdrops, cleaning props, but it was real. The owner, a woman who believed in second chances, said, we pay fairly, we also expect honesty and hard work. I am ready, Tracy replied. She learned how to set up soft boxes, how to label equipment, how to edit photos without erasing reality. She ate lunch on a stool and laughed with new colleagues who cared about work more than followers. On weekends, she offered to speak at a youth group about social media pressure. The first time she stood in front of them, her hands trembled. I used to think attention was success, she said. Now I know attention without truth is just noise. Afterwards, a teenage girl walked up to her. I was going to rent a bag for graduation photos, she confessed. I don't think I need it anymore. Tracy smiled. That felt better than 1,000 empty likes. Tracy followed her payment plan like a soldier. Every month, a portion of her salary went to the rental company. She kept a chart on her wall and colored each box she cleared. Watching the debt shrink felt like watching a wound heal. She also rebuilt her online page, brick by brick, simple posts about learning, working, and living within her means. She shared behind-the-scenes moments from the studio, tips for young creators, and honest budget-friendly styling. Brands did reach out again, but now for the right reasons. A thrift store asked her to do a campaign about style without shame. A financial coach invited her to talk about real budgets. She accepted only the jobs that aligned with her new values. Sometimes, old temptations knocked. A flashy party, a borrowed dress, a caption that promised glitter. She smiled and said, "No, thank you. Peace is not loud, but it is strong." Her followers grew again, slower, steadier, kinder. This time, she recognized their faces as people, not numbers. Months later, Tracy stood on a small stage in a community hall. The banner behind her read, "Live your truth." She looked out at the faces, curious, hopeful, worried, bright. "I once believed that success was about appearing rich," she began. "I lied until my life broke in public. I sat in a cell and learned that the floor is not the end. It is the start of honesty." She told them how fake glory demands real payment, how debt steals sleep, how shame can become a teacher, and how truth, though heavy, sets you free to breathe and build. She made them laugh with stories of barcodes on fancy bags and hotel lobbies turned into photo studios. Then she made them think, what if you use your energy to build skills, not illusions? When she finished, the room clapped. A boy asked, "Are you happy now?" "Yes," Tracy said. "Not because everyone believes I'm rich, but because I finally believe I'm real." And that was the life she chose. Simple, honest, and strong enough to inspire others to choose the same. If you were in Tracy's shoes, would you rather keep living a fake life just to impress people, or face the truth and start all over again? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you would do. If this story touched your heart, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stories about love, family, and life lessons. Hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest uploads. Thank you for watching.